About time to get the old John boat back out. It's in there somewhere. Need to change a rotten transom board and get registrations. Go through an old 6-horse motor that's in there. And put it behind the truck. Got it all up higher where it's easier to get to. Now we gotta pull some bolts and pull some bolts and pull some bolts and drill some rivets and take some spongy old and put some good strong new, and then set an old motor on. Work it, baby. Now we're back over here with my power drill, and we're going to come up to these rivets. See this piece of metal and this one on the bottom. This one here is going to come off as soon as we cut these last bolts off. Those bolts are all corroded and stripped out, and we'll be taking a sawzall to them. But that'll come off, those other two pieces and this piece of metal. We'll be taking the rivets out of all those, drilling them out. I'll show you in a second. Well, the drill bit got too hard. It kept slipping off. It's too much work, so I quit. And then I went back inside and got this side grandeur. Except right now it's a side cater. Never mind. Going on along. See, here's where my handles were. Can you tell? One handle, two handle. There's one of my rivet holes. Here's a couple more. They get leaks now. Oh no! That's all for this bit of metal. Now I'll take the side grinder and cut some more bolts and some more rivets and pound some more rivets and bolts out, and eventually the rotten piece of wood will be free. Alright, I got all my bolts and rivets grinded off and then drove through with my little punchy. There's some of the rivets and a bunch of the bolts. Here's some fancy aluminum nails. See right here, this piece just came loose from under there. Got that piece. And over here, just got this one out. And look at it. And I think I got all the bolts and everything holding a rotten piece of plywood in. So now I'm going to try to see if I can get away with leaving this one side piece riveted to the boat, and then that'll be 3 less rivets for me to fill back in. maybe I can leave that like in place and work the piece of wood off, and then cut the new piece of wood and like slide it in behind it. Maybe we'll see. Alright, now we got the old transom board out. See? Old transom. Not too good no more. We'll try giving this a shot here. Leaving this in, cutting my new board and sliding it in behind it. But that's probably going to get in the way. I bet I'll have to cut out the last 3 rivets anyways. Believe that? Hey, my VIN number's falling off. I need that. I guess that's nailed into that piece of wood, huh? I think it would take on water if we put it in there. Back after the old boat transom project here again. Got my big old expensive sheet of plywood. Now we're about to lay out the outline of that transom board hole and cut it. But first, it's so bright. Maybe just a little. That was a bad snap. This will work better. Oh, right, that's better. It was a little too sunny there before. Alrighty. You see that funny shape? The line and flat across and squiggles and lines, and looks something like that. That many inches tall and wide and wider at the bottom, and that there and this there. Now we just need to transfer that onto a big thing, if you don't mind. There we go. Might be hard to see my pencil, but there's the edges. There's the little one. There's the big one. It looks a little bit different now. I did all that fancy cutting for the spot down there, and turns out I needed to cut all that off. Oops. It's got to be useful for something. It fits. But I forgot the other board had that aluminum metal under it there. And I was thinking I better put that back in. See, completely clear. All the clearance, didn't even need to cut nothing fancy. I'm sure that's going to be a lot better than having it all the way to the floor like I did, because now I can get 2 inches of water in the boat before it starts wetting that board. And I'm sure we want to go as little moisture on that expensive plywood as we can. $80. $80 4x8 sheet of plywood for that. Something else I've noticed, you can tell how old this boat is. You see this this piece of metal? I have this bolted to the boat body, and you see that sliver? How there's all that room all the way down it? It's not because the bolts aren't tight enough. That's because the 3/4 inch board that was put in here all those years ago and this 3/4 inch board are not both 3/4 inch. The old board probably actually was 3/4, and this new lumber is approximate. It's kind of sort of roundabouts, maybe 3/4, not really. Whenever you go buy lumber at the store, you'll see it says, like, this will say 4x8 by 3/4, and then under it it'll say actual size. Yeah, so actual size is a little bit skinnier than what used to be here. So I guess I might just fold that over. I could put washers in between, but it seems like I probably don't want that crack to catch stuff anyway. So maybe it'll just fold. It's a big difference. It's probably like 3/16 in there. Better than an 1/8, you know. Well, that about wraps up this episode here of putting in the transom board. Had to get a look at what it looks like with the motor on it now. This will be our next video. Get this old boat motor tuned up and running good again. That probably won't be very hard. I think this is a 68 Johnson. Got to come in here and trim this board down where it don't look so silly, but used one of my scraps to get it mounted up to start with. I've had this boat for quite a while, but I haven't ever seen a motor on it before. That looks nice. With that old rotted out transom board I had, if I put a motor on it, it'd just push through the back of the boat before. Look at all my shiny stainless steel. Ooh, all the stainless steel and different caulking stuff. We'll come along here later with some of that black flex seal and make a line above all these lower ones. Just get a solid coat of flexi seal back there. See, so far it's worked pretty good up here in the front.